Docking bay Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the USS Sovereign. Oh my gosh, you just missed the crew here discovering the soundboard, the brand new soundboard on Discord. And apparently, it also has visual emojis when you're on camera. So that's awesome.
The question is, yep, they show up on screen.
Yeah, oh yeah, they do. They do. I may have to mute the soundboard from all of you.
You absolutely
some of
have
the
to mute
sounds
the
we've
soundboard. I'm looking at some of them, and it's like, oh, these are going to be used. These will be deployed.
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
sure that we can use some of them. Might include some material we can't play on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can. It's just, you know, our executive producer has rules. So,
Yeah.
And our executive producer has shot us all before, at least once. So,
Oh, that's true. He has.
yeah.
that is true. Welcome, everybody.
Because this is like Chekhov's soundboard. You see it in the first act. It's going to go off by the third.
All the ones under Discord, though, Panda, are perfect. Those are all approved.
Awesome.
Now we're all looking to see which ones are there.
This is going to be
able to use.
It's going to be a fun session, I can tell. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to say hi to people in the chat. GM in the Great Barrier, Chrome Rogue, Lord Ford. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. And thank you for joining us. Apologies that we were off last week. I think you guys ended up doing a Accolade Hunter Red Alert. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we did.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. But we're back this week to continue with this crazy adventure in the Great Unknown. So let's hop right into it. James, I believe you have a captain's log from last week.
I do. Here it is. Okay, so Captain's log, stardate 594342. After waking up from my flower-induced coma, I discovered that my first officer, Sovek, had deserted his post after saving myself, Dogtanyan, and Commander Temna. We tracked him to a black hole where he ditched the gift I'd given him to track him. But beknownst to Sovek, his ion trail had not dissipated, so we followed it to an uncharted planet and find ourselves trapped by some sort of alien tractor beam. Then, against our will, were transported down to the planet. Luckily, we were able to track down my lost first officer and his new friends, other Vulcan-like beings, as well as their captain, who seemed less than pleased to meet us. After a bit of aggressive negotiation, he saw reason, and now it's time to uncover the secrets of a lost civilization, or perhaps not so lost. End transmission.
Very nice, very nice. Yes, so the crew is gathered at the base of this giant mountain monolith on this alien world, and they have two Vulcanoids who also appear to be drawn to this place as Sovik was, and their Vulcanoid captain is also present, Captain Murat. Captain Murat has just agreed to join forces to investigate this mountainous monolith further. Soon after that happens, there's some rustling in the bushes, and Temna appears, wandering out of the woods. It's slightly confused as to where she is, because the last thing she knew, she had just arrived back in her quarters and changed into her uniform after being incapacitated and recovering from the same flower incident. As she emerges, they greet each other, and the crew catch her up on what has been going. Temna, do you have any questions for the crew?
Not really.
You're still a commander, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Just checking I got the rank right when I typed it in. All right, so the investigation of the monolith begins. What would you like to do?
Okay. Any suggestions on how we get inside? Sovek?
I've been here for a little while. I suggest we resort to phasers.
Is that really the best way to treat a historic alien relic? Well, if you say so, then I guess I will simply get my lovely commander. Commander Temna, could you run a quick scan before we try and shoot this thing? I just want to.
Okay, anything in particular you want me to be looking for?
Scan
How
for
do we get inside?
Scan for vulnerability. A way in, a weakening.
Okay.
So you would like to scan. All right, that's going to be a reason science with a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
You have 6 momentum at the moment. Would you like to improve your odds or just roll?
No, that's okay. I got my science reason is 17, and I got a 17 and a 3.
Okay, great. 2 successes, so that is that passes that. So you take out your tricorder and you scan the base of the monolith, and you discover that it appears to be completely impenetrable, and it also seems to be interconnected with everything, all the other structures around you. In fact, it appears as though the whole planet is interconnected. Every structure on the planet is interconnected, almost as if whatever non-organic material is on the planet is all part of one big giant machine. And as far as what you can, what reads as entering, it does not appear to have any doors, any seams. It appears to be completely smooth on the surface, with the exception of what appears to be some glyphs, some written glyphs in one area of the wall.
Can we get a universal translator to try and pick up some similarities with other languages, maybe cross-reference Vulcan or a Romulan dialect?
Also, what setting do I need to set on my phaser to get in?
It would not be. You would not be able to penetrate the structure with a phaser.
Okay, how many phasers will it take?
Chief Sayar, could you take a look at the one of our universal translators and see if there's any way that we can get it to maybe decipher this code?
I mean, of course, sir. Commander, also keep in mind that we have a starship full of phasers overhead, if necessary.
And quantum torpedoes.
I'd also like to remind my crew that that ship is currently slowly losing power. I'd rather the crew not suffocate up there, so let's try not to waste power where we can spare it.
Torpedoes it is.
That is true, sir. They could just push them out the tubes.
Guess we're gonna be dropping mines.
Give
now,
one good swift kick on a Mark 7 shouldn't be a problem.
yes, but without a guidance system,
was just
it
gonna
might
say-
drop on our heads too.
Be an awfully hard time aiming that thing from high altitude orbit.
Yes, well,
Look,
when
as you said, the entire planet is one structure. We cannot possibly miss.
I'd like to state something, Chief, that we are currently on said planet, and a high yield torpedo would probably hurt us more than it would hurt the planet, especially from that altitude. So let's, try to not kill ourselves. But
Enough. Let's see what these glyphs have to say. Maybe we can get in that way.
Are we capable of contacting the ship to maybe use the translator and like the database of languages on the ship?
let's try. Shepard to Sovereign.
No response.
Well, there goes that idea. So, back to the original plan. Sire, can you hotwire our translators?
I can always try, sir.
You got anything you need, Chief? Let me know.
How far are we away from the glyphs?
Just a short walk.
Okay. Well, if no one else, Sovek starts walking towards the glyphs.
Okay, does anybody want to do anything else before you get to the glyphs?
I'd like to speak to Captain Marat. 1 second.
Sure. So
Captain...
as crew members start walking, Captain Shepard and Captain Moret sort of bring up the end of the line, and they start walking together.
Captain Marat, have you tried contacting your ship?
I have, and I assume it is the same situation that you had with your ship. I was unable to contact them.
That's annoying. Do you have any sort of translator technology yourself?
Yes, of course, we do.
Is there any way that we can cross-reference your universal translators with ours? Maybe there's some languages we can maybe, make something to translate these, because Could really use them if that's possible, Captain.
When we arrive at the glyphs, we will scan them.
Thank you. That's all I can ask. Let's go.
So everybody makes their way over to the glyphs. And then you arrive at the glyphs.
I have arrived at the glyphs. Sire, how's it going?
Only one way to find out, sir.
All right, so Sire, what exactly are you doing, and what are you doing it with?
I mean, what exactly about our universal translator modifying its technical capability is going to make it able to recognize? Okay, first off, can we just try to establish that the translator cannot translate these glyphs? First off,
We haven't.
I'm going to feel silly modifying this thing only for it to turn out it's like, oh, this is in the freeware pack.
I mean, I would recommend scanning the glyphs first, or asking the Vulcanoids to scan them before you decide if any of that stuff is needed.
Okay. Captain Murat, can you ask your men to scan the glyphs, please?
Certainly, Captain. So the Vulcanoids head over to the glyphs. They study them, they scan them, they return, and they say, Captain Murat approaches you and says, there are certainly some characters that we recognize, but we're unable to make a complete translation.
Okay. Sire, can you please scan them as well? And then we'll cross-reference the two.
Scanning, sir.
So it's going to be an insight science check. With a difficulty of 2.
It's a 0.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's a 0? Oh, you got 0 successes?
I got 0 successes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So
Incompetence. I
Sire-
work with incompetence.
Sire takes out his tricorder, and he attempts to scan the glyphs. And I'm gonna I feel kind of bad, so I'm just gonna take a point of threat and allow you to succeed anyway. You determine that the runes, the glyphs, are appear to be a combination of myth and legend, iconography from all over the galaxy. The Vulcanoids come over and you exchange information, and you're able to deduce that the inscription of the runes says, "The opening of the way to those who are worthy of the power."
Those who are worthy of the power. Sovek, do you think you could mind meld with these runes, or at least, see if there's any sort of telepathic link there?
That would be a splendid idea if I was trained in mind melds. I suppose I can attempt it.
Captain Murat, do you or any of your men know how to mind meld?
What exactly is this mind meld you speak of?
It's a form of telepathic.
Wonderful.
It's a form of telepathic communication or connecting with things. You might have something similar in your culture.
There are some of my people who can occasionally be telepathically gifted, but it is certainly not a regular occurrence in our people.
Something drew Sovek and your men here, but just 3 of them. Why no more? There's something about this place. Okay, this is going to sound really silly. but
Commander,
Okay, you go.
may I ask a personal question, sir?
To me?
Yes, sir.
Why not? It's that kind of day.
What is your telepathic rating, sir?
Not particularly good. But I do have the same inherent telepathy that is quite common amongst my people. But I never learned to hone any of that.
What about if you
Is it-
guys... Oh, you go.
Captain, is this possible something that we might be able to detect in all 3 men? Commander Sovek and the 2 other Vulcans?
An excellent idea, Hussar. Commander Temna, could you please do a neural scan on the 3 of them, please?
Okay.
That is going to be a medicine reason with a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
And you do have momentum if you want to spend it.
Okay, so the medicine reason is 13, and I got 12 and 8.
12 and 8. Okay. That's enough. So you take out your tricorder. You walk over and you configure the medical scan. You punch it up and scan all 3 of the men. And sure enough, you are detecting some kind of psionic frequency that is resonating in all 3 of them.
Sire,
Commander Timna. Apologies,
Yeah?
Captain.
no. Hussar, if you have an idea, you speak up. Tell us.
But if all 3 men have the same, or at least a similar connection, could there possibly be the same energy emanating from the monolith itself? I'd recommend scanning the monolith. Maybe there is something there.
Okay. Yeah, I can scan the monolith.
That'd be science reason, difficulty of 1.
I got 4 and 2.
So now that you've detected this frequency, you reconfigure the tricorder to scan the area for the frequency, and sure enough, the monolith is sending out these psionic pulses on the same frequency.
Okay, that means it drew you 3 here. So it wants you guys here. If we all take a step back and you 3 focus your thoughts on opening the door, maybe it'll open for you. If all of you at the same time think one word, open, even a magic word, I don't know, say open sesame or open sesame, maybe it'll work. Sounds far-fetched, but it wants you here.
This is ridiculous, Sovek mutters to himself.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he'll close his eyes and attempt it.
Can I sense anything with my telepathy? Because I have telepathy.
That's right. I forgot your Betazoid.
Yeah, what would you like to? What specifically? Do you just want to sense the area, or do you want to reach out to somebody or something specifically? What would you like to do?
Can I sense anything coming from the monolith itself?
Yeah, that would be a. Yeah, whatever your highest attribute is, plus insight. Sorry, whatever your highest discipline is, plus insight.
Okay, so that would be my science insights. That's 6.
Sure. Yeah, and difficulty of 1.
So I got 10 and 18.
Okay. So 1 success.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you sort of use your Betazoid powers to reach out and sense things, and you sense something. It certainly does not feel like a it does not feel like an emotion. It does not feel like it's coming from someone. You sort of simply sense the dull, cold urge of something that is wanting to be found, but it feels mechanical, not warm.
Okay. I mean, at least that tells us that we don't know really what it's after.
Okay. Sovek, Jalek, and Sajot, you're up.
Jalek and Sajot look over to Captain Marat, and he sort of gives an approving nod. So Sovek, what would you 3 Vulcanoid-ish ishies like to do?
So, with eyes closed, Sovek is going to attempt to project the concept of open directly in front of him.
Okay.
This really isn't something Sovek is trained for, so, we'll see what happens.
I'm visualizing a neon sign.
Let's go with a reputation plus insight with a difficulty of 1.
Can Sovek, assuming you allow this, is going to use his ability to increase his stress to lower the difficulty?
Have you already rolled?
Not yet, no.
You can certainly do that if you want. So it's a 0. You still get a roll?
Mm-hmm. Okay, 2 successes.
Okay. So that's 2 floating momentum. You are maxed out on your bank at the moment, so describe what you're doing.
So Sovek, with his eyes closed, is sort of projecting the idea of like a cave, an opening, something that isn't necessarily inviting, but is an opening that Sovek can walk into.
So Sovek closes his eyes, meditates, projecting this open, and all of a sudden this beam of blue light shoots out from about 3 meters above above the ground on the monolith shoots down to a circle about a meter to the left of Sovek, and a beam of light just shoots down in a ring and then turns off.
It's working. Hold that
Fascinating.
focus. Try again. Believe you can do it. It sounds silly.
Can I
but you
use
can.
one of those momentum to project a message directly to the captain? I'd like it to be an image.
Sure. So you spend a point of momentum to project what image directly to the captain?
We can't say on the stream, Tony. You know we have rules.
Ha ha. Very funny. Now focus.
Is it an upside down Vulcan salute?
Don't
No,
you
it's just
give
the
me
one-
that
the one-
sarcastic-
The one finger Vulcan salute? Is that how it goes? No. Maybe it's just
Okay.
that. I don't know. That's
Sovek. Come on.
All right.
Okay.
so you have one
so-
more. You have one more momentum if you'd
Can
like
we-
to spend it.
Can we go back and post and pixelate Tony's hand?
With that momentum, could I in any way get a sense of exactly where that beam of blue light came from?
Yeah.
Is that something I might have been able to sense?
I mean, you after it came on, you probably opened your eyes and saw it. Everybody saw where it came from.
Okay.
And where the ring hit on the ground too.
Maybe move to where the ring hit the ground and try again.
Sounds like a play.
Hmm.
Can we scan the area first?
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Okay.
Um,
I'd like
Was no
to
one
scan the
scanning
area.
when the beam came down? Sovek sort of says generally.
Honestly, Commander, we didn't think. Well, we didn't honestly think anything was going to happen. So, like,
So what would you want to just scan the area, or what specifically would you like to scan?
Like to scan the area where the beam landed
Okay.
to see if it is going to possibly be disruptive to anybody.
Sure. So that's a security reason with a difficulty of 2.
Okay. Security reason. Observation focus.
Sure.
Okay. Difficulty 2, you said, correct?
Yep.
And you know, every time you give me a security roll, here's your point of threat.
Ah.
Gladly.
Yep, here's your point of threat. Hey, that lets me re-roll a die. All right, security reason. That is a 13. Move my dice out of the way.
So difficulty of 2. So you're rolling 2 right now with 1 reroll.
I'm rolling 3
3.
with possibility of getting to re-roll.
Gotcha. Okay. So the
Which,
point of threat gives you bought a die with the threat, and that gives you the reroll. Gotcha.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
which is a really good thing because I rolled a 3 and 2 19s. So one of those 19s isn't going to count. And that... Oh, hold on. Do I want to re-roll it, though? Maybe not. Because that 3 is less than my security. That gives me 2 successes from it.
With the
My
observation
observation
focus.
score.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So you're satisfied with that?
Yes.
All right. So you take out your tricorder. You step over to where the beam of light came down, and you scan. And as you scan, you take a little bit of a step closer, and the beam comes back on right in front of you, and you're able to fully scan it. And the tricorder tells you that the beam is harmless, and it looks as though it's checking for the psionic frequency to be present within the beam.
And that settles it. It looks like the three of you are going to have to go stand on that plate.
All right, let's do this. Sovek walks into the beam, or where the beam was if it shut off.
Yep, so you step right in front of Hisar, right where the beam had turned on. And sure enough, the beam comes on. It hits you. The beam then turns green, shuts off, and then in front of you, the wall miraculously moves into the mountain and separates and opens a doorway.
Okay, so Sovek with tricorder in one hand, phaser in the other, is walking in.
Just as you're about to do that,
Perfect
I'm going to
Starfleet exemplar right there.
I'm going to spend a couple of threat. The other two Vulcanoids, as soon as the door opened, they push past you to rush in. And Captain Marat screams, "Jock, no! Wait!" And Sajat and Julk rush in and head down the corridor. And you follow them down. And as you enter, you all start to pick up speed as you start running. And the rest of you stand there as you see all three Vulcan and Vulcanoids run into and disappear into the corridor.
Okay, I'm just waiting for them to come out with a boulder chasing behind them. Right, let's move in. I want everyone tricorders out.
Captain Marat grabs what appears to be a weapon of some sort and quickly starts to go in behind them. As you all enter the corridor, your eyes adjust to the light and you start to see further down. The walls are slightly illuminated with runes similar to those that you found on the exterior of the monolith, and they're glowing with sort of a very pale orangey light, not too dissimilar from the tractor beam that's emanating from the top and holding the ships. As you enter further, you can see further down the corridor.
Just before we go any, we continue going down. I just want to say something to the chief. Chief, as we go past this these writings, could you please make a record of all the writings on the wall? It might be instructions to how to turn this thing off, and I don't want to miss out on them. That's all, and we can continue walking.
As you look down the corridor, you see the Vulcanoids running, Sovek behind him, and then Captain Marat is in front of you as you go. And then all of a sudden you hear sort of a high-pitched buzzing noise. There is a flash of red light in front of you, and you hear a scream. And one of the Vulcanoids, specifically Sajat, is caught in a... he's hit this sort of beam of red light right in front of Julk and Sovek, and his body starts to vibrate, his skin starts to burst into flames, and you briefly see the outline of his skeleton glowing as he disintegrates in front of you.
He chose poorly.
No. Okay, looks like you guys aren't quite as welcome as you thought. Sovex, stay where you are. Okay, Temna, I need you to do a scan of whatever that was.
As you're giving orders, Captain Marat pushes past you. He grabs Julk and throws him up against the wall and says, "Stop! Stop! Just stay here. I'm right here."
Okay. Temna keeps scanning.
Okay.
All right. That's going to be a. It's going to be an insight security with a difficulty of 2.
Okay. So
I'm assuming you're
that-
scanning the whatever just happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be insight security with a difficulty of 2.
Okay, so that's 12. So I got 3 and 20.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Okay. So, you take out your tricorder and you attempt to scan, what just happened. You determine that, the trap was activated by proximity. So if anybody were to continue down the hall, it would trigger again and vaporize. And then there, as you're scanning, the rune lights. So the doors to the outside close. And the rune lights that were illuminating the hall begin to turn off, starting with the one closest to the door to the outside, and they are slowly starting to turn off down the hall.
Can someone turn on a torch? Okay,
Sure,
Captain.
job, Captain, I thought.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll turn on the torch. Okay, everyone, I need your phasers out. Tricorders at the ready.
Really, James?
Yes.
You didn't get what I was trying to do. This is out of character.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Okay, we need to make sure that whatever this is, it's not turning off life support. Okay, any suggestions?
Were there any turn-offs in the corridor? Or is this one long corridor that's now presumably blocked by the trap?
Is one long corridor.
Okay.
With a wall at one end and a vaporizing beam of light at the other.
Okay, Sovek's going to be scanning where the beam came out of. Is there any identifiable, like, machinery or emitter that projected that beam?
There's a seam that runs the whole perimeter of the hall that you can direct your scan at. So that will again be an insight security with a difficulty of 2.
So
Inside security.
the door did close on us.
The door that you
Oh, yeah.
entered through has closed, and the lights are
Okay.
starting to turn off from that direction.
Okay.
So you're sealed
I'm
in.
going to use that stress ability to lower the difficulty by 1.
Okay, so it's a difficulty of 1.
And it was inside security, you say?
Insight security, yep.
Just a modest 4 successes. Double ones.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
All right. So that's going to be 3 floating momentum. So
Projects so many messages.
you you take out your tricorder.
Sir, I assure you, even for Cations, that is physiologically implausible.
You scan. You're now the closest person to that area. So you scan the seams, and it seems to be projecting a high intensity plasma sheet, plasma energy sheet that is rotating frequencies, and that's why the vibration and the incineration occurred.
With any of this momentum, could I intuit what would happen if I shot it with a phaser? How would the phaser interact with this plasma sheet?
You okay. So what specifically do you want to try to determine?
Could I create an opening with a phaser on wide beam for me to be able to step through this field?
Okay. All right. So using your momentum, it is theoretically possible to do that, yes.
Okay. Well, using my momentum, that is what I will do.
So you use the momentum to figure out that you could do it. So now to do it would be another skill test. So you want to attempt? You want to attempt to do it?
Yep.
Okay. So you will have to. So you'd have to fire the phaser, and then somebody is going to have to walk underneath the phaser to set off the trap to see if it worked.
Could we not just roll a ball? You know, so no one's going to die.
You could use something else because it's set off by proximity.
Could I not use my tricorder to tell if it worked? Since I can detect the field, couldn't I detect the absence of the field?
But the problem is the plasma sheet does not turn on until something gets into the thing. Until it gets right before you cross the thing, it doesn't go off. So you have to something has to attempt to cross it to trigger it.
Alternatively, then, is there any way I could seal where this field is being projected from using my phaser, so that it can't project the field if it's not currently active?
So you want to try to close the gap, close the seam.
Yeah.
I'll melt it. That's clever.
Sure. You had a lot of momentum, so I'll give you this information as part of that spend. You could certainly melt it. It would require 2 phasers at the same point around the whole thing, like welding it. And you would have to, it would have to be maximum setting for both phasers, but you could do it with 2 phasers.
Okay. So Sovek shouts, "Phaser! Somebody hand me a phaser."
I guess Hassar, why don't you help him on this one?
Of course, sir. But somebody needs to give the commander a phaser.
Here, take my phaser.
Okay. Sovek grabs the phaser and is now dual wielding the phasers. What do I need to roll to seal this thing up?
It's not how I expected to die, but that's the way to go.
So you're gonna do this by yourself with 2 phasers.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great.
You
Sounds
said
good.
I needed 2 phasers. I have 2 phasers.
I said it would
Okay.
require 2 phasers, and you have
You
decided
didn't.
to do it yourself with 2 phasers. Okay.
That is true.
Yeah,
So here's what's going on.
I'm not trusting anyone else.
You're right.
Okay.
Why would
Alright.
anybody
Thank
trust a
you.
highly trained security officer to fire a phaser at anything? Okay, here we go.
Really? Yes.
It's going to be a security control with a difficulty of 4.
Would my focus of physical limits come into play here? Would this be approaching the limits of what I could do since it's such a high difficulty task?
Yeah, but it's not that difficult to aim. Like, it doesn't take a lot of physical limits to aim.
So what is the difficulty then?
I mean, the difficulty is precision.
Is that not a physical limit?
No.
Okay, fine. Difficulty 4.
Difficulty
I'm going to
4.
burn some stress.
Okay, so you're making it 3. What's your stress? You haven't passed out yet?
Yeah, I'm making it 3. I overdid
Okay.
it. Okay.
You have 6 momentum. You guys haven't spent any momentum.
I'm spending a momentum on an extra die.
Actually, by the way, sorry, you would have lost 1 momentum when you entered because it's a new scene, but you would have gotten it back because you had enough to refill it. So, all right, so you're still at 6. Also, James, I just want to check in with you. Since we did start a new scene when you entered the hallway, do you want to use your beginning of scene?
Oh, what my
talent
my
that you
quick
have?
survey ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to use that. Yeah, so I
Sure.
didn't realize we were entering a new scene.
No, that's why I want to go back a minute and retroactively give you that opportunity, because I forgot to. I remembered it before we started tonight, and I forgot when it actually happened. So.
Oh yeah, I'll quickly use my quick survey ability.
And do you
I
get
mean, to be honest, to be honest, I used quick survey technically to ask about the whole, recording the message thing. So.
I mean, sure, okay. It's up to you.
We got plenty of momentum. I'm going to spend another 2 momentum for a 4th die.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to roll with that. So control security.
Yep. Control security.
Difficulty 3.
3 now. Yep.
Four successes.
4 successes.
Wow.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sovek really wants to find out what's in this thing.
So, Sovek, now having, who gave him the phaser?
Trailer.
I did.
Trailar. So now having Trailar's phaser and his own phaser, dual wields, points them both at the same point, and fires, and goes all the way around the seam as carefully and slowly as necessary, with great precision, to melt the seam down and get it nice and smoothed out so that it's nice and sealed up, and will hopefully not trigger the trap at all. And you have 1 momentum. Do you want to bank it or do you want to spend it?
I'll bank it.
Bank it. All right.
Captain Shepard then takes off his boots, and he throws it through the archway.
Okay. How do you throw it? Let me see.
So I take off my boot.
Yeah.
Take off my boot,
All right.
and I sort of prepare myself, and then
All right. That's going to be a security fitness with a difficulty of 0, and you have to roll.
Oh,
Okay. Security. Here we go.
Let's see who he nails in the head.
As long as he just doesn't
8.
fail it.
mm-hmm.
And so that was I had to get 12, and I got 8, so I succeeded.
Okay. How many? One success or two successes?
I only rolled once. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. You get two. You get 2 dice.
Okay. And then I got a 6. So I got 6 and an 8, which are both successes.
2 successes. Okay.
I can throw a boot.
As long as you didn't fail, it was fine. If you failed, then something hilarious would probably happen. But anyway, so you throw the boot through. It does not you hear the sound. You hear the sound of it activating, but nothing comes through the welding that you've made. It appears as though it is now safe to transverse. You have 2 additional momentum. You can bank one of them. Do you want to do anything?
I'd like to bank one, and then using the other, I'd like to
Project a message.
pop
Okay.
over to my boots and put it back on.
Sure.
An actor, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a round.
All right. So it appears to be safe. Would you all like to continue down?
Sovek's already gone.
Yep. So Sovek starts walking. Julk takes off down the hallway. Captain Marat follows.
Oh, one quick point. Are those phasers useless that Sovek used? Are they like drained, or are they still got some juice in?
No, they're fine. They're
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Of course, he doesn't give it back to you, Lance.
Nope.
Captain Shepard then turns to Hussar at this point. Hussar,
Yes, Captain.
if at any point you think Commander Sovek is being affected too much by this, or you think he's running ahead, I want you to stun him.
Sovek turns around and is like, "Did you forget about Vulcan hearing, Captain?"
No, I just want you to be aware.
Hmm.
Okay.
Understood, Captain.
He did forget.
Just be aware, okay? The last thing I need is for you to end up like a certain Vulcan-like person that is now dust on the floor. I will not have that happen to a close friend.
Oh, that's right, sir. You just stepped through him.
Thank you.
All right.
for the
You
reminder.
threw a boot into his remains.
I'd like to state I hopped over his remains. Now can we continue down this hallway?
All right. Everybody continues walking down the hallway, and as they disappear down the hallway, we're gonna take our break for tonight. So,
Okay.
so stand by. We'll be back in about 6 minutes to continue on with the adventure. So stay tuned.
Sir, you're not dragging pulverized Vulcan into my nice clean transporter bay when we go back. You understand that, right?
I'll take.
You're going to wipe your feet.
I will wipe my feet. I
Thank you,
promise.
sir.
Auto-destruct sequence armed.
Clean.
quiet today.
Haven't had to do much.
Hey, we're back. And, sorry. I'm finishing my Snack Factory Buffalo Wing Deli style pretzel chips. Crisps. Pretzel crisps.
Are we getting paid for this endorsement?
I don't think.
When I've been GMing for a long day, nothing hits the spot than a pretzel
Oh,
crisp. Now in buffalo wing flavor.
Oh,
And when I'm really, really thirsty, all I can think about is a lovely glass of water.
yep, exactly.
Gosh, I've got that
Okay.
exact glass.
Have you?
Which glass? That one? I have a glass that's pretty similar to that. Oh no, mine's slightly different.
Is that a special coronation celebration glass or something?
Or it's
Only-
just everybody in the UK shops at IKEA.
Only
Yeah.
the best. Only everybody shops at IKEA. Even I shop at IKEA.
Nope.
IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
There's one IKEA.
Shall we move
that's
out of the
We're just
sponsorship?
getting all the ad reads out
45
now
minutes away
before
from
the rest
me,
of the show.
and in one direction, and then an hour and a half in the other direction. So I have 2 to choose from. 2.
I get lost in IKEA.
I love IKEA.
She
I
does.
love going there
But
and
you need-
having lunch and.
Clearly, you need to scan.
All right. So we're back. Everybody's walking down the hallway, which leads you into a large chamber with several displays. And first to enter is Sovek. After Sovek is Julk, and then Captain Marat, and then the rest of you file in. There we go. All right. So everybody files in, and it's clear that this is the, center of the monolith, and clearly where the controls are for whatever power source is generating the orange tractor beam.
Temna, can you do a full scan of the area, please?
Okay.
Yep. That'll be a science reason with a difficulty of 1.
I got 2 1s.
Wow. So that's 4 successes. So you scan the interior of the room. And sure enough, there are 2 computer consoles, one to your left and one to your right. There are several computer readout screens.
Samsung to roll out projectorless LED screens for cinemas.
Computer,
overseas.
stop. Sorry, that was my Alexa. Can you guess what its trigger word is? There's also an opening into this chamber here that appears to have some devices connected to the power system, and some other devices and connections that are being made to other systems within the monolith.
Okay. Can I tell if there's any more of those like traps that we encountered earlier?
Sure. You have some leftover momentum, which I actually need to put up here. So the threat, I believe, is at 16 still.
No, I think we got rid of it all.
Sure. Your momentum is at 6. And your temporary momentum, I believe you had 3 left over. So you're at 3. So yeah, you can spend a couple points of momentum to make sure there's no no more traps, and your additional scan indicates that there are no additional traps of any kind. The room appears to be safe. You have 1 more momentum left. Do you want to use it for anything?
Is there anything else that you want me to look for, Captain?
You said that there are openings throughout this area. Are they big enough for a person to go through or not?
This opening in front of you here, these are like steps that go up into this chamber, which appears to have mechanisms connected to the power source.
Okay. Anything you want to use the momentum for, Tender?
Can I find out what sort of power it is?
Yeah. So the power readout, the power output is off the charts. You've never seen anything like it. There's nothing in the Federation that even comes close to this sort of power output and this sort of level of engineering. There's nothing in the known Federation database that comes close to this sort of power efficiency. You do detect that there are some similarities in the power conduits to that of the strange dilithium type substance that you discovered at the mining facility. It would indicate that this facility possibly runs off of some sort of reaction with that different type of dilithium type substance.
Interesting. We might have found the planet we were looking for. Okay. Chief, you've been scanning the runes all the way through that corridor, correct?
Absolutely, sir. The translator should be done any second now.
Excellent. I was thinking that there seems to be a few monitors scattered throughout this room. I was thinking maybe we could translate some of the information on here. And maybe find the button that says turn off.
All right, well, let's see how far the translator's gotten on all the text that I dumped into it.
Let's see.
All right, which readout would you like to start at?
Chief, you're up. Which one would you like to go to first?
I'm going to go to the one that's closest to me.
Okay.
This one over here?
Yeah.
All right. You should be able to remove your token if you want. Maybe. No?
That is a negative. Whatever. I'm at that one.
Let's see.
We
All right.
we know it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I can't move mine either.
Hang on. try it now.
Yay!
Yay.
There you go. Okay.
I'm gonna look over his shoulder.
Just be careful because some of the objects in the room are also tokens, so don't accidentally pull those. Don't pull the computer readout off the wall, okay?
The set designers are pissed when you do that.
All right. So I guess that's going to be an engineering insight with a difficulty of 1.
All right. Can we get our momentum counters and threat counters?
They're on the bottom. Do you see
They're
that?
at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right.
They're there.
Yeah, I'll buy 1.
Okay.
If there's a difficulty of 1.
Yep.
All right, so that's 1.
So it's 3 dice, difficulty of 1, engineering insight.
Engineering insight. I'm going to say. Well, I don't know what focuses apply because I have no idea what this thing is telling me. So.
Well, what are your focuses?
Transporters and replicators, EPS, warp cores, life support systems, and
Yeah.
troubleshooting.
Not yet. There will be
Oh, I
trouble.
love that yet.
but
I
not
love
now.
that yet.
Yeah.
No, the trouble has 2 phasers. I'm not about to start shooting. All right, so 3 dice. All right, there's 2 successes. 2 successes.
All right. So that's 1 floating momentum. So the tricorder has tried to create a translation matrix based on the runes that you scanned on the way in. So you use your tricorder on this particular console readout, and from what you can tell, this console appears to have something to do with some type of support system.
Right, Chief. Let's go to the next one and do a little list of what each one does.
Do you want to do anything with the momentum?
I would like to use use my 1 momentum to figure out more details on what this is supporting.
Okay. So the the physical connections of this console appear to be routed to environmental systems. So it's likely that this is life support.
Cool.
On to the next one.
Captain Shepard just yeets himself across the room. Science insight, difficulty 1.
Yep.
All right. I'm just going to go 2.
Okay.
That is 1 success and a 20.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. You scan. You scan this particular console, and this one appears to be some kind of modulation system, possibly for the power systems. And as you're scanning it, the lights in the room go dark, and the emergency lights come on in the red glow of all the other consoles, and an alarm starts to sound. And the the power levels for the room appear to start falling.
Well, that doesn't sound good, does
What
it?
have you done?
He hasn't done anything. Chief, is there anything you can do?
Commander, are you getting no sense of direction on what to be doing in here?
Not directly, no. I just get a sense of here is where I should be.
Perhaps we could try getting you and our Vulcan friend together again and seeing maybe Temna can actually help focus your thoughts.
All right. While they're having their, while they're holding hands and singing "Kumbaya," I don't know where the power is coming from in this complex, so I'm going to be trying to determine what the power source for all this is, and then hopefully once I know that, I can do something to restore it.
But
All right.
Chief, isn't it the big giant thing in the middle?
Is
Actually,
it?
I'm not an engineer. You continue with what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Do you want to scan specifically for power systems?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Engineering reason with the difficulty of 1.
Okay. And EPS, I assume, will apply unless they have some fantastic new kind of technology.
Yeah.
for that
Well,
purpose.
we'll say that EPS covers power systems. So
2 successes.
2 successes. Awesome. So what did I say? It was difficulty of 1.
Difficulty 1.
All right, great. So it's going to give you a floating momentum. Yeah. So you, so as the power systems start to fade, you break out the tricorder and immediately start scanning specifically for the power systems in the room. You discover that the power to the consoles is fading, but it's not affecting the power to the beam. You have 1 point of momentum. Would you like to use it for anything?
I have to deal with the beam later. For right now, does the momentum let me stabilize it, or at least figure out how to stabilize it?
It could tell you. It could tell you. You could find out where the interruption is. You could figure that out. So that would give you the specific place you need to go to fix it.
Yeah, I'll use it for that.
Okay. So you sort of follow the disruption with your tricorder along the power grid, and you discover that in this sort of bulkhead mechanism here is where the power disruption is. It appears as though, and I'll even tell you, it appears as though the that when the plasma sheet was sealed off, that as people were walking through it, it kept turning on, and it burnt out the relay in this particular junction.
Well, not having brought a power relay for a EPS system for a long dead mysterious civilization on me, next best thing to do is just try to shunt the excess power into either some sort of whatever emergency capacity management system they would have built into this thing, or into some kind of just energy sink.
Whatever you think's best, Chief.
So you want to try to reroute the current power flow to the emergency systems.
Reroute it in a way that it can then be routed back into the system controllably. So
okay. So let's make that. An engineering. Let's make it an engineering reason with a difficulty of 3.
okay, so that will be at least one more die.
And your EPS focus will certainly apply.
I mean, cool. So that's at least one more. Should we go for 2?
So how many dice you want to buy? At least 1 die.
At least one. I'm putting it to the group. Should
Okay.
we go for 2 on this one?
You can
Go
do
for
it.
it. We've got max momentum.
Don't forget, somebody can assist you as well.
Commander Sovek?
So you're buying 2 additional dice.
Yes.
All right. I will tell you that now that Sovek and Julk are in the room, their mental states are such that they are not able to adequately assist.
This should be something you should be able to handle yourself.
I mean, there are other people in the room,
That's
but
right.
Sovek and Julk are incapable of coherently helping at the moment.
Perhaps Temna could help you.
Yeah.
All right, Commander. Please, while I am trying to redirect, please monitor the other systems in the loop. Make sure that none of them are about to start burning out as well.
Okay.
All right. So Temna, can you explain to me how you were assisting?
I'm gonna keep scanning the other systems to monitor what they're doing.
Okay. That is going to be a we'll call it a science insight for you.
Okay.
All right. So this is a difficulty of 3 altogether. Panda, you're rolling 4 dice, correct?
Yep.
And Sarah, you're rolling 1.
Okay.
Okay. And Panda, you're rolling engineer reason, and Sarah, you're rolling a science insight. All right.
Okay.
Everyone hope for the best, or it's going to get really dark in here.
Okay, so I needed 16, but I got 17.
Okay, so that's no successes for your assistant. Panda, you look happy with your roll. Tell us what you got.
I got a 3 and a 5, so that is 4 successes.
Okay.
And another 20, didn't you?
And another 20.
No.
Excellent.
Oh, no.
Excellent. All right. And it costs two. It costs 2 active momentum to cancel the complication. So this is
The
going to
problem
happen.
has now migrated to a different system, hasn't
Okay.
it?
Don't give him ideas.
Oh no, I know exactly what was going to happen, and I'll be honest with you. If you didn't roll a 20, I was going to spend threat to make it happen anyway. So it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's that 20 really didn't matter. So so you punch in on the console,
It just saved him threat.
and yeah, pretty much.
yay.
So you punch in on the console using your tricorder. You're redirecting the flow, and you're able to redirect the flow into the emergency system, and it starts to feed back into the consoles. The problem is that the emergency system juncture is left open to some of the other systems, and so you end up shunting energy into the illumination system up above, about 10 meters above you. There's the illumination system, which is also next to the life support controls. And so as the energy shoots up, the excess energy shoots up into that illumination system, it blows out one of the lights, which is fine because the rest of the lights come off of a different one, but it also knocks the mini explosion knocks the life support module out. And so now life support is failing, and this juncture box is about 10 meters above you.
Well, that's not good.
Permission to requisition aid from the other crew members, Captain.
Permission granted.
Trailer, give me a lift.
Will do.
All right. So, explain to me what you would like to do, Panda, with Trailar's help.
Trailer is going to is either going to fly me up there. If there's nothing available to deposit me on, I can hang off of the wall with one arm and continue maintenance and doing my engineering nonsense with a tail and my other free hand. And he may have to be ready to catch me.
All right, so you want him to carry you up and deposit you to hang and repair it, and you want him on standby to catch you if need be.
I mean, if there's something for me to actually stand on, that'd be great too, but I'm not assuming anything is useful or nice or OSHA compliant about this place anymore.
No, there's nothing. And even if there were, it's probably degraded to the point where it wouldn't support you anyway. So
yeah. So
all right. So Trailar, that's going to be a con fitness with a difficulty of 2 to carry chief engineer up.
Okay, so con fitness, and I'm gonna spend momentum for 1. We still have momentum, right?
Yes. I'm assuming, Panda, you want to bank the one that you made?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you'll spend that one to buy 1 die. You have 2 momentum left. What? We can't hear you.
Oh, shit. Shoot. I just went ahead and rolled.
There we go.
Beep!
So you rolled 3 dice?
3 die.
Okay.
Yep. I got a 2, an 8, and a 13. 3 successes.
3 successes. Great. What did I say it was? Difficulty 2, right? All right.
Yep.
So you got 1 momentum. Do you want to use it for anything, or do you want to bank it?
Maybe I pointed out to him like a pipe he can wrap his tail around to hold himself up there while he works. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'll give you that for free.
Okay.
Flying kitty.
All right. So you want to bank the extra momentum?
Bank.
All right.
Bank the other one.
So you fly. You immediately. You've been waiting for something to do this whole time. So you grab. you're actually kind of glad that this thing popped, because now you get to spring into action. You grab Syar as reluctantly as you want to touch occasion. You grab him. You fly up. You sort of point to you sort of throw him up onto a pipe. Syar, you grab onto the pipe, and then explain to me how you're using your body to make this repair.
You did say that we could use our prehensile tails as equivalent to as equivalent strength to a arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for maximum comedic value, he's hanging upside down over this thing.
Of course.
By his tail.
by his tail while the Mission Impossible theme plays in the background. No one knows why.
Is that classical music?
Helps me focus.
All right, and then what are you? How are you gonna repair the disjointed life support system?
I mean, it sounds like it just got knocked out of place.
All right, so this is going to be an engineering fitness check with a difficulty of 2. I don't think I've ever had an engineering fitness check before. This is fantastic.
You're welcome. This is going to, like, even if he succeeds, this is going to hurt, right? Like, this is not comfortable, and he is going to be performing a severe amount of physical exertion.
Would it
to do this?
Would it be an away mission of the Sovereign if Syar didn't get injured in some way?
I mean, I'm asking this because I'm about to whip out my favorite value for this one.
I mean, you do what you feel like you need to succeed. And just be careful what you whip out.
To be honest, he was born for this nonsense. Yeah, he is going to use we're going to use that point of determination for you're no good to the living if you're too afraid to bleed.
All right. So that'll give you 2 automatic successes. So so roll your 2 dice. And don't roll a 20.
Six and 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's 2 additional successes.
All right. So that's a total of 4 successes, 2 of them going to the task, and 2 left over. So you immediately open up your when Trailar grabs you, you open up your engineering kit, you grab the plasma torch and I don't know, the sonic screwdriver. And you drop the rest of the kit. Trailar grabs you, flies you up, throws you up on the pipe, you wrap your tail around it, hang upside down. You quickly get to work as the life support system is failing in the room. You're able to push it back into place. You tighten up everything you need to. You weld the conduit back on. The power starts flowing through you, and the life support comes not through you. Sorry, the power flows through the life support junction, and everything is back to normal as you've successfully repaired the damage.
Hey, Chief, don't get electrocuted.
Noted, sir.
So, so you finish
You
up.
have to rotate the camera.
Yeah.
They'll do it in post.
Yeah, we'll do it in post. So Trailar, when you're done, Trailar gently pulls you off. He floats back down, sets you back on the ground, and you're actually surprised that you were able to complete that task without any minor or major injuries.
Okay, shall we continue looking at these consoles? I think that's been fixed. How is the kumbayaring so
So
far?
you have 2 momentum. Do you want to just go ahead and bank that?
Yeah, I was going to say something silly, but sure, just make it.
All right.
Actually, may I use one to have spotted anything from that unusual vantage point in this room that no one else could have seen because everyone is on ground level?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
All right. So while you were up there, upside down.
Well, they love Krispy Kremes.
You notice that from the center of the ceiling, above the illumination modules, there is a huge power conduit that comes out of the ceiling, breaks off into smaller conduits, runs down, and goes into the center chamber of the room here. So it's very clear that this chamber here is where the power source for the beam is located.
Hey, Chief. Did I get it right about that centerpiece being the place where the power is?
Don't take my word for it, sir. You should come up here and see for yourself.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna stay down here, though.
Wise, sir.
So that
Personally, I look forward to never doing that again.
Me either. I'm gonna have cat hair on me for weeks.
As you land, as you both land on the ground, Sayar kind of like the fact that and Tralar kind of brushes the fur off of him as he steps away from Sayar.
So how goes the communication, the spirituality, or the joining? Sovek, anything to report? Have you and Temna made any progress?
All right. So what did you guys want to do?
I believe the idea was to sort of connect the two Vulcanoids with the Betazoids to try and see if we can get any more telepathic feelings about the room, I believe was the idea.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So Temna, that'll be a medicine insight with a difficulty of 1.
You can have an extra dice if you want.
It is 12, and I needed 12.
Great. What was the other die? You gotta roll both just in case you roll a 20.
I wish you hadn't have said that.
It's a 20.
Did you roll a 20?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Wow, so many 20s tonight.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So you sort of use your powers to sense how Sovek is doing, and as soon as you reach out telepathically to connect with him, there's this overwhelming urge to be in this room. It's so powerful that it actually it overwhelms your Betazoid senses. So take 2 points of stress, and you've temporarily lost the ability to sense stuff while you're in this room.
Okay.
But from what you can determine, it's his mind is so overwhelmed with just needing to be as close to this room as possible.
Well, wasn't this a wonderful waste of time?
Okay. Well, Sovek, can you now read anything on the screens, maybe? Maybe you've gained some precognitive ability?
No.
No. Okay. Hazar, we're going to have to go back to... Sorry. Chief Sire, we're going to have to go back to our original plan of going through all the screens and working out what things do. Or we can just, try and turn off the big giant button in the middle. But what do people think?
Sovek's going to walk to the center of the the room, not go in the big thing, but he's going to go touch the big thing and see if anything happens and if he can feel anything from the obvious thing in the middle of the room.
So Sovek walks over to the chamber, to the exterior of the chamber, and puts his hand on the chamber and physically touches
the big thing,
the chamber that has all the power coursing through it. And for the first time since you left the ship, you actually feel relaxed and relieved, as if this is the place that you need to be. And now you just stand there with your hand against it, not wanting to take your hand off, just being content where you are. In fact, Julk sees this and walks over and stands next to you and puts his hand on it, and similarly, the relief comes over him. And
oh yeah, this is the good stuff.
Commander, do we need to give you some privacy?
At this point, Captain Murat sees that, and he walks over, and he says to Captain Shepard, "Do we have a plan, Captain? I would like to get my man back. This has gone on long enough."
Well, Captain, have you got a plan? Tell me what you think. You've been here as much as we have.
Well, clearly we need to cut the power to the beam. That's the first step to free our ships.
True.
Have we located the power source?
We have, but I think we need to work out how to turn it off safely. Otherwise, we might end up blowing this place sky high. And I would rather your man get back to your ship safely without us all dying in the process.
Agreed.
Thank you. So what you can do is you can help my chief engineer with those translations. If we can work out what all these different consoles do, we can work out how to save everybody nice and safely and be on our merry way.
I'm okay. I hit my knee on this.
What'd you say, Captain?
I'm sorry. What did you say? My son just got home.
Oh, that's okay. No, I just said to the captain, I would very much appreciate it if you would give my chief engineer a hand deciphering the different consoles, because then you don't need to ask me for updates. You can find it out yourself and help us work this out safely. Considering your translators helped us the first time.
I will assist in any way that I can.
Thank you, Captain.
And he walks
Chief.
over to Chief Sayar.
Chief, I got a new assistant for you.
I didn't think commissioned officers had could be called assistants, but thank you, sir. I'll make sure to return him in one piece.
Thank you.
Murad is clearly irritated by the lack of discipline among the Starfleet crew.
Okay.
You could ask your other crew member about discipline. If you have an ashtray.
Oh my God.
That causes Sovek to glance over and just raise an eyebrow. Ignores everything else but that.
Chief, say sorry. That was too soon.
I apologize for the attitude, Captain Murat.
Thank you. Okay. Captain Shepard's going to go over to one of the consoles and try and work it out too. Could I get everyone to go to a console, please? This would be a lot faster if we were working together.
Well, Sovek's just ignoring you.
Sovek can continue to ignore me.
Excuses.
But everyone pick a console they like and go stand by it and try and decipher it.
Murat goes to
Captain?
wherever Sayar goes.
Captain, would you
Yes, sir.
just like me to observe the room?
Yes, please. And just keep an eye on Sovek. Remember the stun strategy. And yes, Sovek, I know you can hear me. This is just a precaution. If you suddenly start going all wacky on me, I want to make sure you don't die or kill us, or suddenly go da 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 on me or something. I've just got a precaution, okay? And you can enjoy your little high drug trip over there. That's fine. Okay.
It's a good job I'm enjoying it. I might have been offended otherwise.
Good. Good. Enjoy.
Captain,
Anyway.
which console hasn't been checked yet?
The one at the very end. Look, this one over
this
here.
one, Commander.
Yeah, this one.
So just to recap, this one over here seems to be life support. This one over here seems to be power regulation for the room. And this one and this one have not been determined what they are.
Sweet. We'll go over here, Captain.
There's also, again, there's also inside the chamber in the center.
Okay, Trailer, would you mind coming into the center chamber with me? Not in any weird way.
Sure, Captain.
Okay, Sovek, we are going to step through this door. If something happens to me...
Trailer just walks right past you. Goes inside.
Oh, okay. If something happens to me, like this explodes, just get everyone out safe, including yourself.
Sayar ignores you and just almost, if you didn't know he was Vulcan, he just kind of is just content to be right where he is.
Okay.
No catchers, just vibes.
No catchers, just vibes. Okay. In that case, Commander Temna, if I don't make it out of here, get everyone out of here in one piece, because Sovek's not listening. I'll see you guys in a sec. It's kind of nice in here. I have a strange feeling.
Bit musty.
It's a bit musty. I have a strange feeling when we press a button, Trailer, the door's going to slam behind us, so just be prepared for that, okay? I'm sensing that. In fact, if you want to step outside, you're more than welcome to.
Inside this console, there are inside this chamber, you discover that there are the perimeter of the room is aligned with glowing cylinders that are the same color of the beam that's being projected. That sort of like orange color, and they're pulsing up and down. As they pulse around the room, and it's making sort of that a very similar noise to the one that the trap made, but it's more of a like a.
Trailer, any suggestions?
So are there any controls inside this chamber?
Yes, I'm sorry. There is a control very similar to this one here.
Well, I think we should scan this console, Captain, and see what it does.
Sounds good. Let's hook up our translator matrix and get cracking.
Sure. That's going to be what did I say it was last time, Sayar? Was that an engineering insight? The last time you scanned it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So engineering insight.
All right.
Trailer, what's your engineering?
2, but my insight is 12.
No, that's fine. I'll let you go because mine would be 11 total.
If you are comfortable spending a momentum, you can use mine.
Ooh. Trailer, do that.
And you
Sorry,
can use
what?
one of my focuses too.
Oh, because of your, what are you using?
Collaboration engineering.
What is that a talent?
Yes.
What do you know what it says? What it reads?
You must choose a single discipline when you select this talent. Whenever an ally attempts a task using that discipline, you may spend 1 momentum to allow them to use your score for that discipline and one of your focuses.
All right. So that's a momentum spent for that.
I mean, I was offering it. They may just say piss off.
Oh,
No, that's a good
No,
plan.
let's do that. Let's do it. I'd rather not get
So
killed in here.
what's your engineering number?
5.
All right, my insight is 12. So it'd be
Nice.
my. All right, so then I'm going to spend a point of momentum to get a 3rd die. And what was the difficulty?
the difficulty is. Do you remember what the difficulty was before, Panda? Was it 1 or 2? I feel like it was 1.
I think it was just 1.
Yeah, this is 1. This is 1.
All right, and
I think it'd be 1 by now, considering this is the
Yeah,
3rd time we've
yeah.
done this. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3 successes, 15, 13, and 12.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's going to give you 2 floating momentum. So you scan, you take out your tricorder, you scan the console, and it appears to be the power regulation controls for the power being distributed from the core that you were in. And from what you saw when you were flying up, it appears as though the power conduits go from this chamber up into the ceiling and presumably connect to the beam emitter.
And I use one of my momentum to determine if I have learned enough to turn off this chamber.
Yep. You take all the data that you've recorded and what you've visually observed in the room, and you determine that it will be. You should be able to shut it down, but it is going to be a very daring science maneuver to accomplish.
Temna, I need someone who has sciencey stuff.
Okay.
Again, Trailer, just in case this all goes haywire, why don't you step outside? I don't want to lose 3 officers when we,
I agree with that assessment, Captain. I'd be happy to step outside the chamber.
Yeah, you step outside the chamber. That makes you that makes you the highest ranked person out there. So again, same statement I said to Temna. If I die, please make sure everyone gets out safely.
And I assume you want to bank. I'm assuming you want to bank that extra momentum, Lance.
Yeah, that leaves me with 1 extra, so yeah, bank it.
Okay. All right.
Get it.
So Trailar leaves the chamber, steps outside. Temna walks around and enters the chamber. Trailar, I'm assuming you relayed all the information that you gathered and explained to her how you think it needs to be shut down. So she has an idea of what she needs to do.
Yep.
All right. What would you guys like to do next?
Okay, Temna, this is it. Let's try and shut it down.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be a daring science with a difficulty of 3.
Okay.
Buy as many dice as you need.
I think I need to buy another dice.
All right.
Expand all dice on my position.
So that's 1 momentum for 1 die. Do you want another one?
Buy another one.
I'll buy another one.
Okay. So that'll be 2 momentum for 2nd die. And Captain Shepard, are you assisting her?
Yes, I'd like to assist.
Okay. How are you assisting? And don't say you're going to give her a rousing speech to inspire her.
No. I've got team dynamics as a focus.
Ooh.
And yet,
The Federation flag, or the fact I've not used team dynamics?
look at your team.
We're dynamic. What are you trying to suggest?
Yeah. So
Oh, I see. It's the observation, not necessarily optimization.
Yeah. So do I roll 2, Tony?
Yes. Explain to me how you're assisting, and then I'll tell you what skills you're using.
So while Temna's typing out on the computer, I'm also, doing the typey thing, keeping my tricorder there, adjusting, doing bitsy bobs.
Okay. So that will. I'll let you decide. That'll also be a daring, but you can decide if it's going to be engineering or science.
Okay. This is going to be very daring.
What did you do today? I bitsy bobbed an ancient computer.
Well, I failed, so.
All right.
How'd you do?
I
Wait,
got
what?
4 successes.
Oh, you got 4?
Oh.
Great. There's a reason you're the
Okay.
science officer. And you didn't even
Yeah,
have to use your science focus. All right. So that gives you 1 additional momentum. So you start putting in the process, using the tricorder, doing all that stuff. It's a little touch and go, but you got the power rerouted so that it didn't explode everything. You got everything shut down in the appropriate sequence. And when you're finished, one by one, the pulsing rods start to go. The lights disappear and fade. I know, Lance. As soon as I said it, I regretted it. Anyway, the power goes out in each one. The light goes out. Once they're all done, the buzzing noise stops. The glow inside goes away. White lights turn on. Your captain, your comm badge chirps, and you hear Kertrax calling you from the Sovereign. Captain,
can you hear me?
Captain, we're free of the beam. Are you okay?
Yes, Kertrax. Is everyone okay?
Everyone's fine. And then the comm line goes dead. The lights completely turn off. While this is all happening, Julk and Sovek almost immediately begin to feel a sense of regaining themselves. So Sovek, you are slowly returning back to your cognitive self. The drive to get to this location has completely diminished. Same thing for Julk, who kind of backs away from the chamber. Captain Marat, seeing this, runs over to Julk, grabs him by his shoulders and says, "Oh my God, you're okay." Kisses him, hugs him, and embraces him. Then the power shuts off in the room. The emergency lights come on. Rumbling starts on the floor, and what sounds like explosions from outside the monolith start to go off, and then all of a sudden an alarm starts. A holographic map of the planet turns on at one of the nearby consoles, and you can see on the holographic image that there are several monoliths around the entire planet that are starting to implode and crumble, and the entire planet seems to be vibrating and almost shrinking ever so slowly. And with that, we will end for tonight, and we will pick it up next time.
We broke it.
So you broke it. You broke the planet. You broke the planet.
Let's get out of here before they charge us.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you can join us again in 2 more weeks as we continue the adventures of the USS Sovereign. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for Priority One Armada Live. And who are our hosts tomorrow night?
Let's go find
At least Winters and Panda. The third spot is not.
Winters and
officially
Panda and
filled.
possibly you, I think, right?
Yes, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, if nobody else says anything tomorrow.
So tune in tomorrow. What's the? Do we know what you guys are doing? What's the away mission?
I saw
It's,
Dyson Ground.
Dyson Ground.
it's Romulan night.
Oh, it's Romulan night. Okay, cool.
Yep, we're meeting on New Romulus.
So join us in Star Trek Online for that, and then check back with us on Tuesdays for Accolade Hunter with James at the regularly scheduled time. Then on Wednesday, check out the YouTube channel for checking out the news. Then Thursday night is TFO Thursday. If you're a member of the Armada, join us for running of TFOs and just hanging out. And then check back with us in 2 more weeks for another episode of the USS Sovereign. So thank you for joining us. Sorry we're running a little bit late. So everybody say good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Don't
night.
forget to go onto Twitter and enter the giveaway for free master keys on Star Trek Online. Go get yourself some free stuff.
That's what
Thank you,
Kertrack
Kertrax.
says.
Track says go follow us on Twitter.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.